This video is designed to give you information about PDS, Personal Development Skills, Unit 2 at an intermediate level. If this is not the level that you are completing, then leave this video to find the appropriate one. The purpose of PDS Unit 2 is to help you guys be a part of the community and complete community projects. The resource that you should have for this subject is blue. The one I'll be talking to you from is white, but yours should be blue. As with PDS Unit 1, the main focus here is on you making a project and using specific skills for that project. To start with though, we start with outcome 1. In your booklet, it is page 1 to 8. The first page is the same as what you've done previously in that you need to identify the issue and therefore project. As you have in the past, I suggest you start at the bottom. What is your proposed solution or your project? So what is your project? Then go back to what is the issue you think that this solves. Once you've done that, tell us what area of life it relates to and explain how it does so. When you've done this, you do need to research the issue itself, not the project, but the actual issue. So, for instance, if your project is to paint a wall outside or something like that, the issue is that the environment is not attractive and it's not good for learning or something like that. You could get into the well-being of people and how the environment affects that. But that is what you research, not how to paint walls. For that research, you start on page 2, where you tell me the source of your information, tell me what you found, and then summarize it in your own words as to what it means. There's 3 boxes there for you to do that. After that, you're trying to determine what a community members affected by the issue. So who are community members affected by your issues? It doesn't have to be names. It can be groups such as students, teachers, the CFA, SES, whatever you like, the computer gaming community. Once you've done that, you need to research those community members, and there's boxes for that. So for each one, you just write the community member as per what you've written up here, the source of the information and what you found about them. Once you've done that, you need to talk about how their roles contributed to or impacted upon the issue, either positive or negative. So, for instance, students have contributed to the poor atmosphere around the school by not taking care of the environment, but they would benefit from it if it were painted and looked a lot nicer. So, again, there's lots of space for you to do that. Now you've done that. What you need to do is to compile all the information that you have together into a PowerPoint or another ICT medium and present that to a staff member and a peer. For this, I refer you to page 7, which is the start of the reflections on your work, and these would be what I'd put as the slides. So the project as a heading, and then the research on the issue as a slide, community members affected as a slide, the role of community members as a slide, how community member roles contributed to or impacted upon the issue, and that would be enough. You can email that to us and a peer and we can give you feedback. We'll also be assessing use of technology, so make sure you send through your PowerPoint as well as your recording. After that, there's a peer reflection as well. From there, we are up to page 9. Page 9 is the beginning of outcome 3. This is where you need to refer back to your research that you've done and evaluate the sources. So telling us whether they're effective or not. So here we've got how reliable is the source, so can you believe it or not? And how did you come to this conclusion? As a result, how valuable was the information you found? And then how did you come to that conclusion? This is your opinion, but it does need to be grounded in reasonable common sense. So make sure you do think about it before you do it. Once this is done, you need to develop a communication strategy to raise awareness for the issue. It's not just a matter this time of doing the project. You need to raise awareness about the issue and then fix the project. So you need to think about various communication strategies that you can use. And this starts on page 11. So write down the communication strategies you could use. It could be calling people. It could be brochures around the place. It could be posters. It could be a Facebook campaign, whatever it is. Once that's done, you need to choose 3 of those and then use them and tell us how they worked. So what was the strategy? So for instance, a Facebook campaign. How was it used and implemented? Tell us how you did it. How do you think it went? How could it be improved upon? And how effective was it? You then need to get feedback from someone else. I don't mind who that is, but someone else needs to give you feedback on it. And again, the same questions, but they need to write their name, sign it, and date it at the bottom. In an at-home learning environment, that could be someone in your family. That's fine. Page 12 is the communication strategy 2, and page 13 is communication strategy 3. Once this is done, you now need to present a report on how effective your process of raising awareness was, again, using appropriate ICT. So the feedback we're required to do for you starts on page 14. So again, I would recommend that you do this as a PowerPoint and make each of our sections a slide in your PowerPoint. So again, this is about the communication strategy. So you need a slide on the strategy, tell us how effective it was and the feedback received. Do the same for number 2 and then the same for number 3. Again, we assess your ICT use, so send that to us. The recording of your presentation plus the PowerPoint or other ICT that you used as well. From there, you are up to outcomes 2, 4, and 5. This is on pages 6 to 23. As with the past PDS, this is you doing the work. So you need to start thinking about the issue that you've identified and strategies that you can use to address that issue. So this starts on page 16. 3 different strategies you can use to address the issue you have been researching. Once that's done, you turn over to page 17 and start doing a rough estimate of the strategies that you've looked at. So what's the strategy? What are positives and negatives? Rough guesstimate on the cost, potential OH&S issues, and how long you think it'll take. Then evaluate, should this be used or not, and why or why not. Same for strategy 2 for overcoming the issue. And then 3. Once you've done that, you need to select the strategy that you think is the best and tell us why. Present that to a staff member and peer. When you've done that, we can give you feedback on it. This doesn't need to be a recording of you. You can just email that finding to us. From there, you're much the same as PDS1 in that you need to make a plan for your project. So you need to tell us a step, tell us why that step is needed, and tell us when you aim to complete it by. As with the last one, you need to make sure you are as detailed as possible. Assume we know nothing about how to do this. Add as many steps as are required. Same as resources. Tell us the tools and materials you're going to need and why each of them is necessary. Once you've done that, think about a peer, adult, or mentor who can help you in achieving this project. Tell us how they can help and get them to look at this plan and see whether they have any suggestions. If they do, alter your plan to reflect that. You then need people to agree to help you. You can do this either online with your friends or you can get your family or people at home to help you. Now, throughout the course of your project, there's inevitably going to be some problems that you encounter. So you need to make sure you look at these problems and come up with a plan to address them before they actually happen. This way you are prepared and you don't have to be reactionary if something bad happens. So on this, you need to think of 2 potential problems for your project. You need to tell us, what is the problem? Why is it likely to happen? And what are the consequences if it does happen? Then there needs to be 3 three possible strategies to address that. Come up with a strategy and tell us a positive and negative for each of those strategies. After you've done that, tell us which one you're going to use and why. And the same continues on page 22 with your other potential problem. Again, we're starting to do pre-planning just in case. This is the next step that PDS is requiring you to do. It's not just to come up with a plan and do it. It's come up with a plan, come up with contingencies in case things go wrong, and then do it. So on page 23, it's asking you to think about groups and why sometimes group work can break down, why group cohesion sort of falls apart. So it's asking you to think about a strategy to promote group cohesion so that you all stay together and stay working nicely. This can be something you do together. So tell us what your project is, your group members, and what are your current strengths as a group working together. How could you improve those? Do you have a good friendship? If so, how can that be strengthened? What are your current weaknesses as a group? So not good communication or something. And how can you strengthen these? That is your strategy on how you're going to improve the group cohesion. From there, you need to get your project plan approved by a staff member so that we can make sure it does meet our criteria. But after that, you just have to do the work, fill in the work diaries each day. We need photos as well so that we can authenticate the work that you are completing to make sure that it is yours. We need you to send those photos through. For the work diaries, it's fairly simple. What did you do today? How do you rate your performance today and explain why? Did you achieve anything significant today? How do you rate the performance of others today? How did you use problem-solving skills? How do you rate your own performance in analysing and addressing the problems you previously identified? What were some personal factors that contributed to group work today? What were some other factors that influenced the group work today? And how did your strategy to promote group cohesion go today? Once you've done that, you just need to do your reflections once you've finished the project. They start on page 34 and go till the end of the booklet, which is page 39. So these are about a page and a half each. We got a staff member reflection. Just email it to us. Then we have a peer reflection. Again, 2 pages. And after that, we've got your own self-reflection. Just work your way through it. Make sure you answer all the questions. At the end of this, you will have completed PDS2 for the first time. It needs to be completed 3 times total throughout the course of the year for you to be successfully passing PDS Unit 2. We allocate you 5 weeks to do this. So we expect the first one to start at the start of week 2 of term 2, finishing at the end of the term. Then we expect another 2 projects to be done throughout the course of term 3. As always, if you've got any questions, please let me know and stay safe.